everybody and welcome to Carmel's Kitchen. Today we're going to make a chocolate cake. So in my bowl I've got 225 grams of soft margarine which I have creamed up. Into this I'm going to add 225 grams of soft brown sugar. Today I'm using the dark one because I'd like my chocolate cake to be dark. So you could use caster sugar, plain caster sugar, or you could use light brown caster sugar if you wanted to. So you just cream that up until it's all nicely combined and comes together. Okay. It'll only take you a couple of seconds with the wooden spoon, and if you like you could use an electric mixer. And that's it. All nice and lightly brought together. Now into that I'm going to add 4 medium-sized eggs. So I've got my 4 eggs broken here into a bowl here. So we'll just add them a bit at a time. Okay, always when you're putting eggs into a mixture of any kind at all, break it into a cup first, one at a time, to be sure that you don't have a bad egg. Okay, and just mix it together after you added each egg until it's nicely well combined again. Okay, you could make a coffee cake rather than a chocolate cake if you liked, or you could make an orange cake, or just a plain ordinary Madeira sponge, a Victoria sponge. Okay, so now just 3 eggs gone in and 1 more to go. And we're also going to add a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So a teaspoon and the lid of the extract bottle, this size bottle, are the same measurement. Okay. If you use essence, essence is a little bit sweeter than extract. So mix it all together. Now we're finished with the spoon and we're going to change and use a spatula. So for the wet ingredients, I have 175 grams of self-raising flour and 50 grams of cocoa powder that I've got sieved here and mixed together. So we'll just put those in. And now you don't beat anymore. We're going to fold it in using the spatula. So my oven is turned on to 165 degrees or gas mark 4. And turn on the oven at least 10 minutes before you are ready to put your cake in, so that it comes up to temperature and the light goes off in the oven when the oven comes up to temperature. Your gas oven you'd want on at least 10 minutes before you're ready to put in your cake. Okay, so now we're just literally folding until the flour and all the rest of the ingredients in the bowl are well combined. Okay. Cake making and baking in general just takes a bit of time because you have to get everything ready. Before you're going to do it, you've got to turn on your oven. When your cake comes out of the oven, you've got to let it cool before you can put icing or cream or anything on your cake. So there we go, there's our mixture, and into that we just add 1 teaspoon of water. So I have greased my tins. And here we go. So we're going to divide the mixture up between our two tins. So half into each. And it doesn't have to be exactly half. If you have a little bit over. You know the way when you get a sliced pan of bread. Well, the slices mightn't actually be the same size at all. Scrape out your bowl. Let's have no waste whatsoever. This goes down really well for a birthday cake or a cake of any kind of celebration at all. So we're going to put it into our oven for 25 minutes. And I'll show you how you'll know it's cooked. And if you spread it out in your tin with a damp dessert spoon or a teaspoon. And just smooth off the top. Okay. So just spread it out. So the light has gone out in my oven. So my oven is now ready for my cake. There we go. So there's the cake, ready for the oven. So how you know it's cooked? So the cake will have shrunken away from the sides of the cake, and if you just press on it ever so lightly with the tips of your fingers, it should be springy to the touch. Leave that in the tin for 5 minutes and turn it out onto a cooling rack and allow it to cool before you ice it. So we'll just move on to the next step of our cake making. So to make the icing, and today we're going to make some American frosting. So in my bowl here I've got 160 grams of icing sugar. So icing sugar is the nice fine powdery sugar. Into that I'm going to add a teaspoon of butter and some cocoa. If you use Ovaltine or Bewley's chocolate, Bewley's chocolate, or if you use Ovaltine, there's sugar in those products, so you wouldn't need to make your icing quite so sugary. And the same goes for when you're adding it to the cake. Okay, so into that now we're going to put some boiling water, because the boiling water will melt the margarine, and we add about a half a teaspoon of the vanilla extract, just for some flavour. And then you have a spoon and you just bring that together. Okay, so this is then what it'll look like, and the butter that we added into it is what makes it nice and glossy. Okay, so now we just want to put that onto our cake. Oh, put some out here. And we'll just have an ordinary knife. We'll just spread that out. It looks a little bit like Nutella. Okay, don't go the whole way to the edges, because if you go the whole way to the edge, then when you put the top onto the cake, it'll just squish it down a bit. Okay, and just to be sure that the top sticks to the bottom, we'll bring over the top here, and we'll just get a little bit of the icing. Put it out there. And spread that out. If you don't like this kind of icing, you could make butter icing. And butter icing is half the margarine to the icing sugar. So if you have 200 grams of icing sugar, then you're going to have 100 grams of butter. And beat those up together. Put that on there, on the top. And just with your knife, you can spread that out on top. There we go. And if you like to fancy it up a little bit, all you need is a fork and put a couple of zigzag lines going across one way and then a couple more going the other direction. You could put a few sprinkles on the top. And there you go, chocolate cake. Okay, the best of luck, and I hope you enjoy. Now you have a cake for every occasion: birthday, communion, confirmation, anniversary, or just for a Friday night. Bon appetit, enjoy. Cheerio, see you next time, bye.